Hey, it's Kyle here. It's time for one of my favorite yearly traditions on YouTube, and that's where I'll count down my favorite books from the previous year. I break this down into 3 videos to do my 5 favorite nonfiction books, my 5 favorite Star Wars books, and in this video I'll be doing my 5 favorite novels that I read in 2024. If you're interested in checking out any of those other videos I just mentioned, they've already been posted on my channel. As for my 5 favorite novels that I read in 2024, I should make it clear these are books I specifically read in 2024 for the first time. I'm not saying they were published in 2024, it's just the year that I read them. Also, I'm only doing books on this list that I have read for the first time. If it's a book that I reread in 2024, I don't really have it eligible for that list. So it's all first time reads for me in 2024. With that out of the way, let's talk about my 5 favorite novels that I read in 2024. So number 5, we have Isaac Asimov's The Stars Like Dust. This is the first book in the Galactic Empire series. I've read several books by Asimov before. Love him. Obviously the master of sci-fi. I really enjoyed this book. It has me excited to read the rest of the series. I found the concept interesting. Like with all of Asimov things, that's something he's very strong at. Probably what he's maybe best known for is coming to these really cool, unique settings, and then kind of keeping you guessing what's going to happen. So this book is set far in the future where humanity has colonized a lot of planets. There are kind of a lot of rival political groups and people battling for power, and we start off on Earth where a human, but who's not from Earth, is studying at a university there, and he survives an assassination attempt. And then that kind of triggers the story, a lot of political intrigue, people doing anything they can to get power, keeps you guessing on what side everybody's in. I really enjoyed this book and has me very excited to see where the rest of the series goes. So my 5th favorite novel I read in 2024, The Stars Like Dust by Isaac Asimov. My 4th favorite book that I read in 2024 is The Armor of Light by Ken Follett. This is as part of his Kingsbridge series. If you're not familiar with this, it's basically a fictional town in England that basically Ken Follett writes these historical novels in that kind of focuses on what's going on in England in that time and kind of world history, but with these fictional characters. They're very entertaining. The first book in this series was The Pillars of the Earth, which is one of my favorite books of all time. So this book is very interesting. It's kind of set in the late 1700s. So you're getting a lot of this book's kind of focusing on the Napoleonic era and how that impacted England and really the rest of Europe, and all the technological advances are beginning to take place in this era when you're getting the early stages of industrialization. Very interesting book. Not my favorite book in the series, but I really enjoyed it a lot. I honestly enjoyed it more than a couple of the more recent books in the series, but not as quite as my all-time favorite, The Pillars of Earth. So if you enjoy historical fiction, I would recommend you check out Ken Follett. The great thing about this Kingsbridge series is because all the books are set in different time periods, they're just loosely connected, so you can read any of the books in any order you want to. You can read them as a standalone, you can read the entire series. It doesn't really impact your enjoyment anyway. So if you enjoy historical fiction, I'd highly encourage you to check out Ken Follett. Any of his books in the Kingsbridge series, but if you want to read the most recent one he written, that would be The Armor of Light. So my 3rd favorite novel I read in 2024 is Snow Crash by Neal Stephenson. Very famous sci-fi book by a very famous author. I've heard of this book countless times. I just had never got around to reading it. I have read a book by Neal Stephenson in the past, Seven Eves, that I did enjoy a good amount. So I was like, I need to check out Snow Crash at some point. It's always been highly recommended to me. Really did enjoy it a lot. Very cool sci-fi, kind of set in a similar reality as ours, but different enough that clearly is set on a different Earth. And basically in this setting, kind of the economy and the governments of the world have collapsed at some point, and basically now society's been taken over by these companies, criminal organizations, even churches. They kind of operate as the governing bodies instead of actually legit governments anymore. Because the big role that businesses play in running society, everything has been monetized. It is a very interesting setup. The main character is hero protagonist, which is an amazing character name, and is a very fascinating character who's a hacker, but does a lot of other jobs throughout the book. Very, very talented, very smart character, and he really keeps you entertained throughout the journey of this book. Really enjoy it. I would say if you're looking for a funny, interesting sci-fi read, Snow Crash is an amazing book to read. Snow Crash alludes to this new technology that's been invented in the book, where basically somebody's figured out how to basically give a computer virus to a person by them seeing a certain set of images on a computer screen. So basically somebody's figured out how to hack a human. Very interesting concept. But I really enjoyed Snow Crash, and I'd certainly recommend it. My second favorite novel that I read in 2024 is by one of my favorite sci-fi authors, probably my favorite contemporary sci-fi author, and that is John Scalzi, and that is his book, The Kaiju Preservation Society. This book's concept is really cool. I liked it a lot. And basically, humanity, kind of roughly our same timeline, has made a connection to alternate reality Earth, kind of the multiverse, kind of like that. And this other Earth, they made a connection to Kaiju, like creatures like Godzilla, exist, and they're the dominant life form on this other version of Earth. When this connection is made, it kind of weakened the barrier between the two planets, and so these Kaiju can actually break through the barrier and come to our Earth. So our Earth has established in secret some monitoring stations to kind of keep the Kaiju on that Earth so they don't do a lot of damage on ours. So our book covers a character who's been hired to work for this group. You're hired in secret. You don't really know what you're doing. You're told you're going to be working with exotic animals. But you don't really know until you get there what the situation is. This book's actually set during COVID, which was interesting. Like that little concept on it, because basically this person had lost their job, and then during COVID, basically they were limited on what they could do, and then they had this chance to get this job that would allow them to travel. And it's like, well, yeah, sure, why not? Let's try it. Very fun book. Like, of all Scalzi's books, he has a great sense of humor. I love the world building in this one. It makes complete sense the way he sets it up. Very interesting. This book's really written as a standalone book, but I would honestly be very cool if he decides to write more books set in this scenario. So I really enjoyed it. If you like John Scalzi, I'd highly recommend it. If you like funny sci-fi, highly recommend it. If you like kaiju stuff like Godzilla, highly recommend this book. And my favorite novel that I read in 2024 is The Narrow Road Between Desires by Patrick Rothfuss. This is kind of a character study book set in the King Killer Chronicle series that Patrick Rothfuss is very well known for. So a very short book, barely 200 pages. As you see, it's kind of a smaller book. You wait for those 200 pages in a regular size novel probably would be like 100 or 150. And it's a short character study of the character Bast, who's a very interesting, cool character in the King Killer Chronicle. And in this book, you kind of get an examination of this character over the course of a day, everything he's up to. You learn a lot more about this character, and you honestly develop a more stronger attachment to this character. I enjoyed the character in the first two books of the King Killer Chronicle, but I don't know if he was one of my favorite characters. This book really made me develop a stronger attachment to him, and now I think he is one of maybe 2 or 3 favorite characters in that series. So if you've read that series and you enjoyed it a lot, I'd encourage you checking this out. If you've never read this series, I don't know if this is a good spot to start. I would definitely just recommend checking out the series in general and then reading this character study after you've read the first 2 books in the series. But this is my favorite book that I read in 2024. I loved it so much. And like I said, for all these books, I've done more detailed reviews for them on my channel. So if you'd like to see those, just check those out. The one for my favorite book, The Narrow Road to Desires, I'll put the link somewhere up there. So check that out if you want to learn more about that really cool book. Hope you enjoyed this video and my look back at my favorite books that I read in 2024. Let me know, what was your favorite book, specifically a novel that you read in 2024. I'm always looking for recommendations, and who knows, maybe you'll recommend something I haven't read before and I'll check it out. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you have yet, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the support. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time, and happy reading.